So blind. Oh yeah, we can totally wrap this up. All right, good. So in the same sense that, do you have more gratitude in your inhale or in your exhale? Knowing then that you have a natural end to the planet. You have a kind of a weird staticky sense of continuing violence that maybe seemingly is growing, but that might just be the perspective on it. And it may be that violence is lessening. The issue is why can't we just have a national heat map and we see how much actual violence is occurring, and then we would be benefited, and then we should be able to profit on the fact that that number is going down. Like the dudes that work at a factory, it's been however many days since so-and-so lopped his arm off or had his arm lopped off. However the fuck he put it on his paperwork so he doesn't have to work anymore. So we should have a heat map that you could look at, that we could show growth in nonviolence by showing the limiting of violence as a globe. Or would it be the idea that the humans are so fundamentally violent in their unawareness of their true power that if they had a heat map, they would just focus on the heat and make it fucking hotter? Because regardless of the fact that they would be benefiting on the economic process of it, they would still just want to fucking watch shit happen. Also real. So anyways, one side's going to win and they're going to forgive or they're not. The other side's going to win, they're going to forgive or they're not. Society might abandon forgiveness. As religions erode, forgiveness will erode, carnage will be upon the land, and only the true sense of nonviolence will win, and that will go all the way back to the Gospels. Can you accept to live in a state of nonviolence, turn the other cheek, and begin that now? Oh, you can't? Well, then enjoy the pendulum back into fucking whatever the fuck they make it in every horror movie you've ever seen. So then your option now is, can you live and can you operate in the awareness that we have already achieved a state of nonviolence, and that you would only look at the life around you in that state and only have the awareness of growth, the awareness of creativity, the awareness of really celebrating the art and the life that other people are making that exists beyond all of the stratus of things that they want us to believe in. When a victim class society finds that there's economy in what you call victims, then there is literally no end to the strata of victimhood, and they can profit of it in as much as they can create the oppressor. So the oppressed, or the idea of the oppressed, creates the oppressor, and then they rail against the idea of the oppressor as an economic sense. And that's the life that they choose to live. It doesn't seem to be real, and it doesn't seem to benefit them, but it does keep them in a place. However, this victim culture seemingly wants to take over, where then the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And what happens in a world where there's no more forgiveness? So you operate in a state of pure forgiveness, in a state of pure love and acceptance for every single moment that you find yourself in. The word of God, the truth of nonviolence, goes with you in every breath you have, in every place that you go, that you be the shining light of humanity for the rest of the people in the scene that may not know that they're on the stage and may need the help, the most help to the weakest among us who are unaware. God bless America. Anyways, I blew the 10-minute time limit, so I had to chop this thing up into 2 pieces. Plus, I was outside in the middle of ramping up into finally hitting my Maury Povich moment, my Phil Donahue moment, my Geraldo Rivera moment, my Jon Stewart moment of coming together and showing the absurdity of what is happening in culture as the adults look around the room and try to find other adults as humanity seemingly is allowed to devolve into quote-unquote profitable madness. So then, then there you go. So, like I said from the beginning of the other video, can you then have the scientific experiment in your reality where you determine whether or not you have more gratitude in your inhale as you do in your exhale in your waking life, as you are aware of your gratitude? Which one does it exist in? Take a certain amount of time and measure it, and then have an idea, and then just build a foundation of ideas from that simple one. Okay, how about that? So then you could advance yourself to the point of a society that is moved into a state of nonviolence, a state of perpetual positive growth, because There is an economy of the internet that regards positivity, and there is a system in place where internet profits and the profits of social media and data would be spread among to pay for the schooling and the resources necessary to give health care to the people putting the data into the system. And from that state of growth, we should be continually able to profit in as much as we invest in the future of growth and nonviolence. And perhaps because the capitalists are going to watch their profits disappear through the internet, they would then push for a more customer-friendly interface that would drive consumers to leave their homes, to have a very, very positive community experience, buying a good locally made and backed by the name of the family and the person made it, who also agrees to do their very best for the best of the community. Could you imagine life being so easy? And then from that point, can you exist in ideas that advance humanity and advance humanity in such a simplistic fashion that it can be absorbed in the same way mathematics is absorbed across the human spectrum? God bless America.